Shalom, shalom, Shaul Dog here, once again with your weekly drash. This is Parashah 2, Noach, entitled Noach, chapter 6, verse 9 through chapter 11, verse 32. And I want to apologize, or, basically make a statement about last week's drash, because I mentioned that the man and woman becoming one flesh would be in this week's drash, but I was wrong. I didn't prepare so well for it. I just basically did it off the cuff, and, well, you see the result. But what I was referring to, where man and woman come together in the image to complete the image of Yah on earth and become echad, become one flesh, that's Genesis chapter 1, verses 23 and 24. And it says, the man person said, at last, this is bone from my bones and flesh from my flesh. She is to be called woman. In Hebrew, it's Isha, because she was taken out of man. And in Hebrew, that would be Ish. This is why a man is to leave his father and mother and stick with his wife, and they are to become one flesh. One flesh, echad, in Ruach HaKodesh, in the Holy Spirit. And that's in the identical, what's the word I'm looking for? Image that Yah created us to be in. Okay, and it's identical to what's in heaven between Yah and Yeshua. And like I said, it's not goddess worship. I'm not saying Yeshua is a woman. I'm saying they share a marital type of covenant. But let's move on to this week's drash. Okay? We start off with Genesis chapter 6, verse 11. Okay? 11 and 12, actually. The earth was corrupt before Yahavah, and the earth was filled with violence. Yahavah saw the earth, and yes, it was corrupt, for all living beings had corrupted their ways on the earth. Now, going back to last week's drash, this shows that Yah had his Torah established. It was, people knew about his Torah, okay? People knew about his instruction. People followed his instruction. People did what he said to do, okay? This is a fact. And just because it wasn't written down like it was in Exodus doesn't mean it wasn't established, okay? Because we find in this parasha, Noach followed the rules. And Yah could not condemn everybody else on the earth for being wicked unless there was some kind of standard that people had to follow in order not to be wicked, okay? Because Yah's a righteous judge. He's the most righteous judge you're ever going to find, okay? But then we get on to Genesis chapter 6, verses 13 through 17, and it says, Yahweh said to Noach, the end of all living beings has come before me. Not because of them, the earth is filled with violence. I will destroy them along with the earth. Make yourself an ark of gopher wood. You are to make the ark with rooms and cover it with pitch, both outside and inside. Here is how you are to build it. The length of the ark is to be 450 feet, its width 75 feet, and its height 45 feet. You are to make, this is 4.5 stories, okay? This is about 4 stories tall. This is a big boat. You are to make an opening for daylight in the ark, 18 inches below its roof. Put a door in its side and build it with lower, second, and third decks. Then I myself will bring the flood of water over the earth to destroy from under heaven every living thing that breathes. Everything on earth will be destroyed. But I will establish my covenant with you. You will come into the ark, you, your sons, your wife, and your sons' wives with you. Now, see, many people state that this is the foundation for the Noahide laws, and Yah gave him different laws. But no, the Torah was established from the beginning. Okay? We see that Cain and Abel even sacrificed to Yah. Okay? So, the sacrifices are part of the Torah. So it didn't just pop up in Exodus. Everybody had a knowledge of what the Torah was and what the instructions that Yah gave us, okay, what they were and everything else. And, you get a lot of people in religion, and Christianity especially, who say, well, the Torah didn't exist until it was given on Mount Sinai. Well, the 10 Commandments were given on Mount Sinai, and the Torah was given all along through Exodus and Leviticus and everything else, okay? I mean, all through Torah. All through the time when Moshe was walking the earth. And beyond that, the Torah was given verbally from Yeshua, actually, to the Israelites. It's a fact, okay? But it's written down in our Bibles. I mean, first 5 books, it's right there. It's right there for everybody to see. It's for everybody to read. It's for everybody to obey. But now we're going to go into Genesis chapter 7, verse 1, and this further confirms that there was instruction. There was a Torah, even though it wasn't written down. It isn't what you picture in your mind is, an old dusty scroll of lambskin on 2 sticks, okay? The Torah is a living word. The Torah is the breath of life, basically. And anybody who embraces it is going to embrace life. But Genesis chapter 7, verse 1 says, Yahweh said to Noach, come into the ark, and you and all your household, for I have seen that you alone in this generation are righteous before me. Wow. How could Noach be considered righteous before Yah if there wasn't a set of righteous instructions in place? Huh? I'm just going off my notes here. We see the wicked being condemned, and we see the righteous being spared. There had to have been, because Yah's a righteous judge, there had to have been a standard for people to live by. It's, but, back in that time, Yah established everything verbally. He spoke to the people. Okay, things might have been written down. There's good evidence that things have been written down because creation is actually written down. Everything since creation, that's all part of the Torah. That's what we're covering right now. Last week was creation and everything, so it was written down. To say Moshe wrote it down, I'm not so sure about that. Because there had to have been a record that he went by because he wasn't there at the creation. See what I'm saying? And it might have been passed on verbally, but still it was passed on. The Torah and the guidelines and everything else, like I said, Cain and Abel, they both sacrificed to Yah, all right? So, we see that the Torah was already established way before it was given to Moshe. You have to understand, 400 years of slavery, people tend to forget. So Yah basically said, okay, here's my covenant with you. Here's my rules and here's my guidelines for living. If you obey these things, then you're going to live a long, healthy life. Before that, they were in slavery. It wasn't a long, healthy life. It was just a nasty life. And after 400 years, people are being raised on false God worship and everything else. Okay, there had to be some deprogramming, and they had to have something on paper in order to go by. So that's why it was actually written down, and it was basically taught nonstop all through the rest of Torah. Okay, but what actually set Noach apart from the rest of the world? Well, it's the fact that he sought Yah. He sought Yah, and Yah gave him his commands. Yah basically took him by the hand and said, come on, Noach, I'm going to show you my ways. I'm going to show you my regulations. I'm going to show you my way of life, the way that you're supposed to live. And that's how Noach gained his righteousness. Now, the rest of the people in the world, guess what? They didn't do anything of the sort. They didn't even approach Yah. They just went on doing whatever the heck they wanted to do. And, you see the result. And, that type of time, that type of destruction is going to come again, where all of the wicked are just collected up and destroyed. It's coming again. You see it in all the prophecies, because Yah hates wickedness. And the only way to not be wicked is to obey the Torah. Okay? But let's go to Genesis chapter 8, verse 20. Noach built an altar to Yah. Then he took from every clean animal and every clean bird, he offered burnt offerings on the altar. Notice he offered clean animals. He didn't offer pigs and shellfish and all that stuff, okay? He offered clean animals to Yah. Why? Because that's the covenant that Yah has with the people that truly obey him and worship him the way he says to, okay? We're not going to defile his temple with with dirty animals. We're going to do it we're going to sacrifice our clean animals. That's as it's stated here, okay? But then Yah smelled the sweet aroma, and Yah said in his heart, I will never again curse the ground because of humankind, since the imaginings of a person's heart are evil from his youth. See this, I'm going to stop right there. This shows that Satan will grab onto a person as soon as they take their first breath out of the womb. That's when Satan starts working on the person. Okay? So, we have to really pay attention to that. Okay? If the imaginings of a person's heart are evil from his youth, that means that they don't have Ruach HaKodesh. Okay? But let's continue. Nor will I ever again destroy all living things as I have done. So long as the earth exists, sowing time and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter, and day and night will not cease. Now, how did Noach know to build an altar to Yah? How did he? Now, we know in the Torah we're instructed not only to build an altar, but how to do it. But if there is no Torah, if we, in Exodus, we know that, we were given the instructions on even how to build an altar. Okay? How did Noach know? How did he? If there was no instruction from Yah. Are you catching what I'm saying here? So, this is way before Moshe. This is a long time before Moshe. And guess what? He built an altar. And he burned clean animals on it. Okay, that is a Torah principle. So anybody that wants to say Torah didn't exist, well, I say that you're wrong. If you actually read the word, you're going to understand. Then we go to Genesis chapter 9, verses 8 through 16. Okay, Yah spoke to Noach and his sons with him. He said, as for me, I am herewith establishing my covenant with you, with your descendants after you, and with every living creature that is with you, the birds, the livestock, and every wild animal with you, all going out of the ark, every animal on earth, including dinosaurs. I will establish my covenant with you that never again will all living beings be destroyed by the waters of a flood, and there will never again be a flood to destroy the earth. Yah added, here is the sign of the covenant I'm making between myself and you and every living creature with you for all generations to come. I am putting my rainbow in the cloud. It will be there is a sign of the covenant between myself and the earth. Whenever I bring clouds over the earth, the rainbow is to be seen in the cloud. I will remember my covenant, which is between myself and you and every living creature of any kind. And the water will never again become a flood to destroy all living beings. The rainbow will be in the cloud so that when I look at it, I will remember the everlasting covenant between Yah and every living creature of any kind on the earth. Now I see that Yah is speaking about himself as a third party, which tells me this is actually Yeshua speaking, okay? But it's pretty interesting how Yah uses a rainbow to remind us of his covenant that it'll never destroy earth again, by the flood. And, we have to look at who was destroyed. Who was it? Well, it was the wicked, right? Well, what's one big form of wickedness that we have on this earth today? It's homosexuals. Well, it's true. It's homosexuals. It's gays. It's queers. Whatever. However you want to say it, they're very wicked according to Yah and according to his Torah. Okay? Well, what's the symbol that they've adopted? Satan's gotten them to take the rainbow and put it on their flag and basically throw it in Yah's face and just basically say, yeah, I don't care about the destruction of the people that preceded us for doing what we're doing. Screw you. And they're just basically flaunting it at Yah. When we read later on in Scripture that the end of days will come because we'll know because it'll be like the days of Noach. Well, look around. You see a rainbow flag? That's basically flipping the bird at Yah, saying, screw you. I know what you did, to destroy my ancestors and all those wicked people before me, but screw you. I'm just flaunting your covenant in your face. That's basically what they're saying. So, we see a little bit of prophecy if you really dig deep in here and you really pay attention. And I really got to start wrapping this up pretty soon because the backup fan on my computer is actually starting to kick on and it gets sort of loud. I shut off the main fan in here because it's extremely loud whenever I record. So, well, let's just move it along. Then we get into Genesis chapter 10, verses 8 through 11. A lot of things transpired here. Okay, the annihilation of mankind, with the exception of Noah and his family. And then all of a sudden, you see, if you could hear that, that's a fan. That's a backup fan. You know what? Well, I'm just going to keep going. We're just going to have to deal with the noise in the recording here. It's a lot better than the main fan, but here we go. Genesis chapter 10, verses 8-11. Okay, we're covering a lot of ground here. Cush's father Nimrod, who was the first powerful ruler on earth. He was a mighty hunter before Yah, and this is why people say, like Nimrod, a mighty hunter before Yah. His kingdom began with Bavel, Erech, Akkad, Calneh, and in the land of Shinear. The kingdom we are focused on, the kingdom we focus on right now is Babel, or Babylon. Okay, it's the foundation for all the religion of the world today, Christianity and everything else. It can all be traced right back to Babylon. All the religions, okay, and all of the gods of that religion, Nimrod, Semiramis, and Tammuz, they could all be traced right back there. Now, why is it that Tammuz all of a sudden has the name Jesus? Well, it's because of this. Okay, the whole earth used the same language. This is Genesis chapter 11, verses 1 through 9. The whole earth used the same language, the same words. It came about that as they traveled from the east, they found a plain in the land of Shinear and lived there. They said to one another, "Come, let's make bricks and bake them in the fire." So they had bricks for building, stone and clay for mortar. And then they said, "Come, let's build for ourselves a city with a tower that has its top reaching up to heaven." It's basically a big phallic symbol, a big middle finger, basically stick it up to Yah saying, "Screw you." This is it. Okay? So that we can make a name for ourselves. This is like Satan saying, "I want to exalt myself over the throne of Yah and not to be scattered all over the earth." Well, Yah came down to see the city and the tower the people were building. And Yah said, "Look at the people are united. And they all have a single language, which is Aramaic, the language of Babylon, the original language of Babylon." And see what they're starting to do. At this rate, nothing they set out to accomplish will be impossible for them. Come, let's go. Let's go down and confuse their language. Let's go down and confuse their language. Yah speaking to Yeshua right there. Let's go down and confuse their language so that they won't understand each other's speech. So from there, Yahweh scattered them all over the earth, and they stopped building the city. For this reason, it's called Bavel, or Babylon. You Babylon? Well, it's confusion, because there, Yahweh confused the language of the whole earth, and from there, Yahweh scattered them all over the earth. Now, see, this is the beginning of the wheats and the tares growing up together. The Israelites and the righteous are scattered, and all the Torah keepers are scattered among the earth, okay, along with all these Babylonians who were worshiping false gods, Nimrod, Semiramis, and Tammuz. All of them were worshiping false gods, and they were unified, one religion, one kingdom, one financial system, one everything. Does that sound a little bit familiar? Huh? But see, this is where all the religions of the world came from, because when all of the languages were, when the one central Aramaic language of Babylon was disturbed and disrupted and changed, and people had confusion about the language, guess what? Other languages adopted the same gods, and they all developed different names. Nimrod, Semiramis, and Tammuz turned into Osiris, Easter, and Jesus. And Horus and whatever. I mean, there's gazillion different names. Gazillion different names for the same three people of Babylon. You see? So, it's really fascinating if you really truly want to serve Yah. It's really fascinating to see the origins of where all this religion came from right there in Babylon. Okay? And it takes a lot of study and everything else. Don't take my word for it. Always research it for yourself. Seek it out for yourself. Seek out all the truth for yourself. Pray. Meditate on the scriptures and study the word. Study, pray, and meditate. That is the best way to learn the word. Get rid of the Strong's Concordance. Get rid of the Unger's Concordance. Get rid of all that man-made garbage. and just trust only in Yeshua. And remember, stay blessed, okay? And always seek the kingdom of Yah. Take care, folks. I look forward to the next time.